Hi, this is Monday evening, July 14th, 1997, and tonight I'd like to do tape 250. Tonight I'll do some very advanced techniques in pushing the metronome beyond the mark. So I'll call this tape 250 and choke. When you get to 250, if you want to pass that motion, you have to choke your technique to make it fly. When I play, you'll see why. So this tape is a milestone to me. I'm a 25th born, and my perspective has always been, if a 10's what's happening, a 20's what's coming, and then someday maybe a 25th. You know, check it out. So if a 10 represents 100% or a gold medal, the ultimate 10 would be 10 10s in one, or 10 gold medals. Mark Spitz got 7 gold medals, and no one has yet to this day ever got 10 gold medals, but someday the Olympian that gets 10 gold medals, I'm sure, will be put in the history books. So if 10 gold medals in one is the ultimate Olympic level of anticipation, imagine 10 times 10 gold medals in one, or 100 gold medals. So if a 10's what's happening, a 20's what's coming. If a 10 represents 100% or a gold medal, the only thing that can challenge 100% is another 100% or another 10. So 10 and 10 is 20. So if the ultimate 10 would be 10 10s in one, then the ultimate 20 would be 20 10s in one, or 20 times 10, or 200 gold medals. So that means that the ultimate 25th would be 25 10s in one, or 25 times 10, or 250 gold medals. Absolutely inconceivable, especially where nobody has ever reached even 10 gold medals. So if I was born to be a 25th child, I was created to be 25th man, and the 25th century ain't here. So I don't expect you all to hear this shit. Because if I said 250 gold medals, I'd probably get shot. But you have to see the videos to see what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Not bragging. I already put it on tape. This will be my 250th video, so what I'm talking about, I made my point. So when I challenge the metronome, I challenge it either on 40 or 250. All those numbers in between, that's for people that are trying to develop. I'm not talking about in development, I'm talking about exaltation. Aspiring towards exaltation. And that doesn't have anything to do with opinion. So I did a tape called Nom Chi, where you put the tape, the metronome on 40, and you do full strokes on 40 in a state of relaxation. You know, very relaxing. Is it possible to go slower than 40? Absolutely. I call it the meltdown. So you put the metronome on 40, you do a full stroke on 40, and then you start melting down towards 39, even though it's still on 40, and melting down towards 38, all the way down to 0. You know, like when you melt things, that it goes back to the beginning. They call it the meltdown. If you're talking about the ultimate extension into the infinite cosmos, like the Big Bang and the explosion at the beginning of the universe into infinite essence, it goes forward. So if you're going backwards, you got to melt down. If you're going forward, you have to explode. So that's what I'm saying. If you want to have cosmic extension or affiliate towards cosmic extension in regards to playing the drums, then you have to have the force beyond the challenge of mechanics. And so far, the metronome only goes up to 250. So I hear a level of challenge possibly beyond the point of 250 on the metronome. But you have to change your point of reference in regards to challenging that level of extension, because it doesn't have anything to do with traditional methods of expression, which I'm about to show you. So let's go with the 250 and choke until you explode. So if the Big Bang represented the explosion of the universe, then the explosion is a word that has to be confronted forever and ever and ever. So we have to start anticipating exploding towards cosmic alignment. And explosion cannot be chaotic, because if you're talking about exploding after the metronome reaches 250, if you don't have total control of emotion, there's a good chance you could probably have a heart attack. Which I already had, so I'm not trying to take myself out of here. But I'd like to show you a method of approach, possibly after 250. All right? Choking motion. So I'll give you some advanced techniques, and then I'll just roll the tape, give you an idea of the kind of things that I practice, and the motion that comes after 250. Okay? I dedicate this tape, as always, to my beautiful, sweet, lovable, divine wife, Josephine, who always and forever inspires me to develop and to challenge my capacity for come what may, tomorrow or someday. And to always be happy and joyful when I sit at a set of drums. So that's what I always do when I come to my room. I come to my room to be happy and not to fight my beautiful vehicle of expression to the cosmos. I also like to develop this, to dedicate this tape to my beautiful home, my beautiful little Lenny drum, and to my mom and dad, giving me a 25th birth and universal instinct as a natural inclination. And all my brothers and sisters and all my relatives, my nieces and nephews and cousins, and everybody in the Nelson clan, for giving me the flexibility in my soul and in my genes to do what I can do as a natural extension. I'd like to dedicate this tape to my friend Wallace, the master of martial arts to the highest degree in my heart and soul and in my mind, who inspired me to challenge my outlet towards 365 tapes. So that's my final goal. But most important, I've rounded up the perfection of the magnitude of my own birth. So 25th born and 250 videos to represent my birth month. If that doesn't give you the message of what I represent as a universal entity, I don't know what else to tell you. So anyhow, I don't want to keep rapping because there's so much I'd like to say, but I'll say it someday on the tape. I'll just rap, But in the meantime, there's some advanced techniques and what I call exploding drums. You love the drums, I love you. You don't love the drums, I love you anyhow. Because tomorrow's the question, and if I could get drummers to check out my tapes and to practice the drums like they were practicing for the Olympics, that's why I'm talking about gold medals. If you practice the drums like you were practicing for the Olympics 4 or 5 or 6 hours a day, 5 or 6 days a week for about 10 years, I could make every drummer in this world the greatest drummer that ever lived. And I don't mean by classification, I mean by glorification. So when you have the ability to extend yourself to the cosmos, you can't do that artistically or egotistically or any other artistic. The only way you can do that is spiritually. So that's why I'm saying play to pray or pray to play. Okay? So I'd like to extend myself in prayer to you with my creative efforts with all my heart and soul and with all my love. Check it out, Lenny 25th Nelson. Thank you much.